Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single from only £1.20, a return from only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talk in Town. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to Ipswich Buses pre-game matchday ticket. I'm the host, the Gov, and I'm with two wonderful contributors today as we build up to a big away game away at Sunderland. Obviously, many people feel they are there for the taking, the right time to be going to the Stadium of Light, notoriously a hard place for town to travel to. We've got team news coming up, and of course, big opinions. Before we get into that, we've got Colin Plum. Big shout out to all the town fans at the Stadium of Light today. You are the best fans in the country. Absolutely. A salute you all for making that mammoth trip up north. Afternoon, Josh. Afternoon, Eddie. Ipswich Jules will take a draw if offered before kickoff. Or would we take a draw? Well, you arrive with a point. You know, leaving with a point at the very least is the bare minimum today. And I look forward to hearing what Curtis and Ben's going to say. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a must win, but it's a mustn't lose, I think, you know, because you can't go from 4 points behind Sunderland to 7. That's a huge number. EJ, let's get another statement result like Pompey and Wickham. Roy thinks 3-0 Town. Jem says a win today would send a real message out to other clubs. Mike D says, go on, Carlos, prove me wrong. Good afternoon, Simon. Welcoming the Durrants from sunny Sunderland. Thank you for joining us, the Durrants. I hope you're all well. Right, joining me this afternoon, two wonderful people. First of all, Curtis Yates. Welcome, Kurt. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just I've been driving around all. Well, yeah, I'm all good. Ready to go.
You driving around all morning, you were going to say, did you?
Yeah, well, I was at the tattoo studio this morning, and then I decided I needed to be a bit more quicker when I was doing the tattooing, because I realised I had to come back for this. So I hurried up a bit, and then I've managed to rush home, albeit within the speed laws. But I've managed to get back ready for it.
Well, we salute you, and completing the team today is the man, the myth. You know him as the Milktray Man. He is, of course, the producer on a Saturday behind the camera with the iPad, but today he's in front of it. Ben Adams. How you doing, Ben?
Very well, very good. You good?
Very well, thank you. Yes, looking forward to this game. We'll start before we get into the team news with the question posed earlier in the show. Would you take a draw today if offered it, Ben?
No. Win today. This is the statement of intent. This is the test. This is where we're at. Although historically we've tended to be a team that breaks bad runs for other teams, there's a lot of optimism today. Look at the comments. I'm looking at the socials, looking at the forum. There's a lot of positivity today. We've got a massive crowd. I mean, kudos to the people going up there. It's incredible. It's a hell of a journey. I used to do it for work a lot, and yeah, really good. We have to win today. Today is a test. This is where we're at today.
Okay. Same question to yourself, Kurt. Obviously, if it's Jules said, would we take a draw if offered it before kickoff? What do you think, Kurt?
No, I mean it's like what someone said. I mean, if we get the win today, we can possibly go back to 4 points from playoffs. And I mean, I was watching the show yesterday. 7 points. 1 point.
Well, 1 point. If we lose, it's 7 points.
But if Sunderland win, it's 7 points, which then suddenly becomes a huge ask. I mean, you made the point yourself on the show yesterday. It's, whilst it doesn't seem much, it's 3 games, and with the consistency that we show, we're not going to get 3 wins together at any point soon. So prove me wrong. Get a win against one of the so-called bigger sides in this league, get a win, march on from there. I know Cup downplayed it as not a huge game, but it is. It just is.
Agreed.
Whilst he's downplaying it to the squad, to us, and if we want to do anything this year, it is a big game.
Absolutely. Well, the team news is in. As Leighton Durrant asked, let's have the team news, Gov. There it is. You should be able to see it on your screens. We've got Walton, Danassian, Ntiala, Edmondson, Bailey Clement, Sam Morsey, Lee Evans, Sonny Aluko, Burson Selina, Carl Edwards, and Macaulay Bonn. Grab your thoughts first of all, Ben. No Burns. So the front three behind Bonn is Aluko on the right, I believe, Selina and Edwards. Your thoughts on that, my man?
Yeah, I'm okay. I love Burns. For me, he's been the player of the season so far. And I know everyone's going to say Bonn, but Burns makes Bonn be Bonn. So disappointed he's not there. But the embarrassment of riches we have, Aluko, who I think every game apart from the first one he's played has been really, really, really good. So this is where we kind of see that depth coming in. I love that defence. I'm back. I love that defence. I love the fact that Clements has kept his place in there, which kind of goes back to what Cook was saying. If you play well and you make the shirt yours, you will keep it. And he's a testament to that. So I really hope Clements has a good game today.
Your thoughts on that front three then, Kurt, as well? Obviously Aluko preferred on the right, no Chaplin. You've got Fraser not in the side. Bradford, Richard, as Ben says, but are you surprised? Maybe no Chaplin over Edwards?
I went to the game against Oldham, and I can't honestly say that Chaplin offered us much against Oldham. Whether we got dragged down to their level in that game, I'm not too sure. But I did think at the time that Aluko certainly had a massive game. I thought he played really well, did Aluko. Clements again. I think for Clements, it's all about consistency for him. I think for the first 20 minutes of that game, I thought he was quite poor against Oldham, but he did grow into it, and he is showing that more grown-up side to the game now. But the front three. You put Selina on for the big games, don't you? That is what he's there for. Hopefully, he can turn it on against the big teams. Bond's there on merit due to the recent goals he scored. And being honest, whilst we all want Piggott to be fit and firing again, he did naff all against Oldham in order to show that he needs to be breaking past Bond. And unfortunately, he's not going to get the game time unless he shows it in the chances that he does get. But no,
what are your thoughts, Curtis, on Edwards? Edwards is a bit of a. We all know that talent. We're probably all remembering that first game, but really, I think it's coming to kind of the forefront that the end product. It's not just not there. It's actually pretty atrocious. If we're being completely honest. So, what are your thoughts on Edwards?
For me, it's Keenan Bennett's point two. He's got the man has all the skill in the world, and he has the pace to burn, but he's finishing that end product. And the thing is, he comes across as so selfish. Like there was many times in that Oldham game where, as Clements was growing into the game, Clements is trying to overlap him, and he got into some good positions. And then there's just so many times where you just think, just lay off the ball, and he's too busy trying to cut into his man, cut into the middle. Yeah. And sometimes he needs to know when to pass it, and when to take a shot. But the thing is, the good thing is for us is that he is our player, so we're not going to give him back at the end of the year to brush him back like we did with Bennett. We can fine tune it, whether he's fully ready to be starting in a promotion chasing League One side. I'm not too sure. Like I say, he's got all the talent in the world. It's just lacking that end product. It really is. And it
reminds me of Danny Haynes. He, apart from that, obviously the Norwich game, which he will forever be a legend just for that. He had the speed, the skill, the quickness. Everyone was, go on, Danny. And that was all that happened. He went, go on. And that was it. It stopped. But I'm not even talking about the goals that Edwards doesn't score, or the shots. It's the crosses. The crosses are really, really bad. So I'm hoping that I think you're quite right. The fact that he's ours means it's something that you can develop. And if that's the side of his game that needs focus, at least we can say we have the time to kind of dedicate that to him.
I also think you have to remember that he's a young player. And when you say, like you're saying, an Oldham Kurt about lay the ball off or certain selections of what he does, either passes it, crosses it, shoots, that's a young player, and that's developing the tools and the decision making. no player from Pirlo onwards was ever given the knowledge to know what to do in every situation from a young age.
No.
Will he develop that? Who knows? Will he turn into another Danny Haynes, where you say all the promise in the world and didn't really develop it? Maybe not. But I'd rather him play through a promotion side, a side that maybe can carry him a little bit, develop that mindset, that selection process, ready for next year, whatever league that might be in. Because as you say, he's our player, and I can't see on the bench. There's good players on the bench. There's Scott Fraser. There's Chaplin. But nobody, if he can get it right, quite like Carl Edwards.
But it's the thing is, it's not even just the finishing, because it's like Ben said there. Sometimes the crossing is absolutely piss poor. I mean Scott Fraser, you see him on corners, and we all expected him to be this set piece specialist for us. And I'm not being funny. Like against Oldham, the ball either went too deep or it just went first man. And I don't know who's doing the set piece, and I don't know who's teaching him how to cross. But it's like Crunch said. Even Piggott for one shouldn't be getting dragged out wide like he did against Oldham to whip in that cross. Well, I say whip in the cross. It was more a floated one, but the cross again was poor from that side. And then luckily against Oldham we got that equalising goal, and the game turned on its head. But for me, that attack is a great attack. The people teaching them how to attack and teaching them what they need to do. Forward. That's what worries me a little bit.
You should have good teachers with Gary Roberts, particularly being a winger at this level himself. We've got 70 currently watching us on YouTube. If we can get 50 likes, we'll do a halftime show. I'll set the like target today. We'll do a halftime show. If not, we will put our feet up, Ben and Kurt, and we will have a cup of tea. So if you do want us to return at halftime to discuss how that first half went, hit the like button now. A few comments. Bob the Nod. At the moment, they're on the slide a bit. We need to keep them on that slide if we want to catch them. Jem, the squad is so competitive on average. One average game and you're out. Exactly the way it should be. Lee Bayliss. So Luca was good on Tuesday, and Cook was all out attacking, but also he's got it on the bench.
Good point here from Rob Smith. Strong bench. Harper doesn't even make it. Not sure if that's an injury or something, but I really rate Harper, and he's one of those players that I know he would be fantastic if he played 4 or 5 games in a row. But like you say, who's he dislodging? If we had a good player last season on the bench and they had a good game, they're on. But you've actually got to be good enough to dislodge a player that's actually doing quite well. And we are more consistent now. It's harder to get into the team now than 10 games ago. So players like Harper, Fraser, Piggott. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I disagree. I disagree.
Really?
In not in what you're saying, but in the position that Harper plays. I've not seen enough from Lee Evans over the last 3 weeks to say, yeah, you should play every game. Yeah, you should play every game. You've earned that right to play every game. I would be intrigued, and maybe this is a bit of biasy from my point of view, because I said Harper would be player of the year, but I would be intrigued to see Harper play with Morsey. Give him that freedom of the midfield area, knowing he's got somebody who will do the dirty work of the game for him. The tackling, the chasing, the niggly stuff. I think I've seen enough from Lee Evans yet, Ben, to say, yeah, nailed on every week.
Fair point, actually. I wasn't even thinking of Lee Evans, because I do think there is a hole in the midfield. I think Morsey filled that wonderful space in front of the back four between the midfield, and he does what he does very well. But that midfield, you look at a lot of our goals and a lot of our attacks, and that kind of those heat maps of the football pitch, they're all from the wings in, which is classic Paul Cook. We knew that, the players know that. But there just seems to be this big blue hole in the middle where we just hope there isn't a mistake made and it puts Morsey under pressure. So imagine we get that bit right and the wings right, that then we're rocking. But fair point, actually. Evans, he's good, but he maybe hasn't done enough to make sure he can't be dislodged. Yeah.
Or in my opinion, he certainly shouldn't be. Simon Wall, how close is Morsey to a ban? I think it's 1 card, could be coming today. I think it is 1 more yellow card, and he is on a ban.
How long for? Is it 3 games or 1?
It'd be a 1-match ban, so it'd be Rotherham on Tuesday. He would miss.
Okay.
So he's got to be sensible. Only take the card if he absolutely has to. Julian might be a bit controversial this, but I think we lose width with Aluko, as he always wants to go central in my eyes. He has played well. I think that is the problem, do you not feel, Kurt, we're playing with Donacien at right back? When you have a Luca who wants to come in naturally, you have to have somebody on that overlap. Donacien's not really that sort of style fullback where he's going to be, galloping over the halfway line, wanting the ball to the byline. Whereas KVY really is, isn't he?
Well, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, going off from what we've seen of Luca, I mean, he, for want of a better word, he is a more experienced, more fine-tuned Kyle Edwards,
cultured,
without pace.
Yeah.
The man's ball control at his feet. When I watch him, I mean, I'll be honest. When we signed him, initially I was quite underwhelmed, especially that we had. It's one of them that in years gone by we'd think, bloody, that is a top signing, and then with the talent we had signed, like it's an all right signing. But I tell you what, the man's ball control at his feet, the man's skill to get in and then out opponent, and even he has little bursts of pace that he needs. It's one of them for me. I kind of disagree, because I think whereas we do lack a bit of width where you might have KVY bombing it down the side, I think we then excel in other areas. I think, as I say, whereas with Edwards on the other side, he might try and take on his man and lose the ball. I think with Aluko, I have more faith and trust in him due to him being more experienced and due to how he's previously played for us now. I don't really worry when the ball's at Aluko's feet, and I don't really have to worry about that, because I believe that he himself has enough about him in terms of finishing, and his crosses himself are very, very good. Very good. So,
I like that point. Gem Salmon Photography. Aluko definitely helps Donacien out defensively more than Burns. I agree, but that's not a criticism. I think that's a trade-off, because Burns helps out Bon more attacking-wise than Aluko does. So it depending on what kind of game you're going to play, a more defensive game or a more attacking game, you can interchange them, because they both do different things. So that's not a criticism of each way. They just offer something better, one half of the pitch or the other. So obviously, today, it's probably a bit more defensive, because Sunderland, who knows what Sunderland's going to turn up today.
I thought you were going to go with Jem's. Jem's comment there about me being desperate to get half a player from my player of the year.
Well, obviously.
Obviously. Mike the Fisherman, welcome in. Mike Piggott must be fuming by coming to town, not given any chance to get match fit or show what he can do. Back to Piggott, Kurt. Obviously, you weren't impressed with him midweek, but if we put him under the microscope of a player returning from an injury, let's just picture that he had an injury, he's returning, and he's getting minutes in his legs. Because let's be honest, you can consider him that, because he hasn't had any minutes that you would expect from a player that's been fit for 90% of the season. On that microscope, was it a good game for him on Oldham? Did he get minutes in his legs? Did he look better towards the end of the game than he did at the start? Or was it generally a flat performance from Joe Piggott, and he's not going to give any headaches to anybody at the moment?
Listen, the problem is with Piggott. I mean, I was one of the people asking for him to get more game time, and I do still believe that he should be coming on as a sub. I do have my qualms about him not getting enough game time, but in the games that in the little time, or should I say, in the chances that he's had / the little time that he's been brought on as a sub previously, he's not shown anything. For me, he's not showing anything to warrant the extra time. Yes, I do think that with the issues he's had, he needs to have a bit more leniency, and we need to give him a bit more of a chance. But as I say, I mean, I was hoping and praying for a bit of a masterclass against Oldham, because and I thought it was the perfect game for him to hopefully grab himself a goal, get the confidence up, maybe grab himself two. And a lot of the time, he found himself drifting off, out of position. Yeah. Like I say, and sometimes due to the way we were playing, he was getting dragged out wide, which obviously didn't help him. But I haven't seen anything to warrant him getting ahead of Bon, and that's even with Bon now having a little bit of a dry spell, because there's no point in playing a player for playing's sake. If you're not seeing anything, what's the point in getting him on the pitch? Give him the extra 10 minutes on the pitch he needs as a sub. Go ahead, by all means, get him match fit that way. But in terms of wanting him to start a game, I don't think anyone in the right mind, realistically, right now would start Pickett over Bon, especially with the form he's in, and especially in big games like this. I mean, how many goals is he on? 11 or 12 now. So games like this, these are the games that you want Bond to play in instead of Pickett. These are the games where you need your top goal scorer to play in. Because I'm sure if he had been dropped, we'd all be wondering why 12-goal Bond, 11-goal Bond had been dropped for 1 or 2 goal Pickett.
This is it. You've taken the words right out of my mouth because it comes to you, Ben. We're seeing what Macaulay Bonne has done from the early part of the year, and he's built up that level of trust, that level of credit in the bank, where he can have a blip, maybe a 3-game blip, or whatever he's going through at the moment, and he still has the credit to fall back on. And that's why you don't bring Pickett in. But
go on. Agreed. I was going to say he's got that thing that we've been looking for years. I mean, Norwood, when he was probably our kind of number one, he got a sort of a little bag full of goals of the season, but it was surrounded by injuries. We've actually got a striker who stays fit, who wants to be here and scores goals. We've been crying out for this from about 2014, and now we've got him. I think he's done enough he could have a bad game, and the credit in the bank means that he will probably start the next one. But you've got to feel sorry for Pickett in a way, because you go from scoring 20-something goals in one season to not even making a few minutes in the game to the next. You've got to be thinking, well, what more have we got to do? But I do take Curtis's point that the little, I mean, can we make a reasonable judgment on a little bit we've seen? Maybe we can, maybe we can't. But from what I've seen, I'm totally and utterly underwhelmed by him, like completely.
He should at least be getting 20 minutes, though. Like, that's a standard.
Yeah, I agree.
For a striker that most teams, I'd have thought, up and down the country, up and down the divisions, would do today. You bring off your main striker at maybe 70, 75 minutes, bring on your second or third striker, freshen it up, and get fresh legs around centre halves that are getting tired. But we've not done that. And I think that's where Cook, just to finish up on the Pickett debate, Ben, has really sort of let the player down in the sense. Go on, Pep. Go on, Kurt.
The thing is with Pickett, whilst we can all talk about his record last season. His record was fantastic, but we are talking about, whilst it's the same division, we're talking about a step up in the quality in the team. So whereas at Wimbledon, I'd like to imagine that he expected to be one of the first names on the team sheet. I would like to think that he was told by the manager, you will be the first choice main man. If you're injured and you come back, you're straight back in. I'd imagine he'd have been given all those. Yeah. Whereas I would like to hope that he has been told, and I'd like to think he knows as a man that with the quality that has been brought into the squad, he's not going to get as much game time. He's not going to be guaranteed that.
Paul's acknowledged that. He's actually said, I feel a bit sorry for him, and I probably should apologise. But also, I think this also talks to what I see as Paul Cook's biggest weakness, which is in-game.
Oh, has he dropped?
No.
Yeah, okay, not just me then. I thought it might be my computer. Then Oh, Ben, you're back. You're back.
I was going back. That's when you bring on. That's when you bring on two strikers. That's in-game management, and we know that's the one thing Paul Cook doesn't do. So if you're a striker desperate to play, to show that, what you don't do is you work for a manager who only plays one up front and doesn't change it. It's very tough.
Absolutely. We've got Lee Bayes, can't score goals on the bench. EJ. He didn't just score 20-odd goals. He did it in a struggling team. Mike, apparently you can perform on the bench. No, you certainly can't, which is what I was saying. I think, today I want to see him get at least 15. He won't, which is a real shame, but that's what I'd at least be expecting. Because then you can start to formulate real opinions on a player when you're seeing him in the main team for 15 here, 10 here, 20 here, half hour here, because he's then getting the opportunities where you expect him at least to look threatening. Ipswich Jules, you don't even need to take off your main striker to give Pickett minutes. You could put two up front. Well, he's not going to do that, sadly, for 20 minutes or so, depending on the scoreline. Good point from
the goat there. Good point from the goat.
It's not due to Pickett, though, Gov. Cook doesn't make hardly any of his substitutions early enough for me, and I like Paul Cook. That is absolutely true. Earlier in the show, Ben, you said about Bailey Clements, you're glad he's kept his place at the Stadium of Light. Mark Tuxford, midweek, didn't really agree that he had a great game. He thought it was meh. It was an average game, and people maybe were looking through the lens of the academy.
Yeah.
Who did
have a good game? Because on that thing, you changed the whole 11.
Well, you're somebody I was going to say who obviously is keen to not look through that lens. In fact, you famously said Jack Lancaster will be playing for Swindon in 12 months' time. And
who's he playing for now?
Cambridge, but he's not playing because he's injured, I think. But what excited you about Clemence's performance last week that made you want him to play today away?
An old head on young shoulders.
It was
and I like. He was calm. Calm. I love that.
Calm.
So go on, Curtis. Go on. Sorry.
Old head on young shoulders. I'm writing this down for post game so I can say.
How
did you feel?
He was solid, wasn't he? He was nothing spectacular. And I don't need my left. I don't need my left back to be anything.
Right.
I mean, bloody hell! I had to deal with Jonas Knudson's lethal long throw. I don't need my left back to come with all these special accessories.
Absolutely
I just need him to do what he needs to do, and I need him to put his head on the ball where needed, and I need him to tackle. That is all I need. I don't need anything spectacular from him.
If you've got a big car, you've got an old Range Rover that drives you across a field, you don't need it to go 200 miles an hour. You just need it to go over the muddy field and do its job. And I think that's what Clemence looks as if he's doing. So and he's really young. He's played a couple of games and he's looked really, really good. So good luck to the boy. I think it's fantastic.
So, but it is a daunting place to go, though, Ben. It's going to be a place that could be, a hostile atmosphere. They love their football up there. It's going to be a big game for a young player. And what is it? A case of consistency again? So again, same as last week. You don't want any frills and spills, as Kurt was saying. You just want to. You at 5 o'clock when we sit here for the post game show. What do you want to be the conversation about Bailey Clemence? A standard 6 out of 10 game, nothing more, or what do you feel?
Don't do anything that gets you noticed in the wrong way. I often feel that those left and right back positions, the ones that have the good games, the ones you don't actually look at too much and notice them because it means they're quietly going about their thankless job. As far as I'm concerned, so I would say just be consistent, be solid, give a 7. You're not going to give a 10 out of 10 performance as a left back unless you have some otherworldly kind of game and the system's working for you. Be consistent, don't get noticed, quietly go about your business and be calm, and that's a great. I love those as left backs, because it just takes care of itself.
Okay, and if I'm asking that about Bailey Clemence, I think to round up the show as we come towards the climax and towards our bold predictions, at 5 o'clock when we do our fans react show, which everyone's welcome, to get involved with, live link, live chat, as you can see. What do you want the conversation to be about Paul Cook this afternoon? What do you want? Because previously it's been in-game management, substitutions, blah, blah, blah. What do you want the 5 o'clock conversation, Kurt, to be about our manager?
I want it to be about how fantastic his in-game management was. I want it to be how we didn't sit back, how we weren't slow out the gates. I want us to be discussing the fact that we've been able to beat one of the so-called, as you mentioned in yesterday's show, one of the so-called juggernauts in this league, because that it still is one of our issues. It is, and under his management, it is at the moment. And unfortunately, until we get into a rhythm of beating the teams above us or beating a team above us, then it has to be the discussion of that at full time. But no, I'm hoping we're going to be discussing a nice little win. I'm quite excited to see this game. To be fair, I'm quite excited.
Ben, Curtis made a great point there. Not flat. I do feel after every single half time, I don't know what the process they go through is. I think it needs radically changing because we come out so flat every single game.
We do. It's like they're all kind of given a little shot of anesthesia at half time, and I don't know what his half.
They're given cocoa and a bedtime story because they come out looking lethargic and not up for the second. They do. Like even when you're a goal down, like last, or even 0-0 like last Saturday, I felt we came out not with.
I can think of one game, and that was Wickham, where we actually came out better than we played in the first half. But every team has that, once in a while. But I agree. The trouble is, I have to go with Curtis again. It's backed up by the poor in-game management. So, okay, you come out flat. It happens. Make some subs at 60 minutes. Don't wait till 89 and a half minutes or 93 to bring on another striker. If it's a bit flat, if the halftime team talk hasn't quite done what he wanted it to, make some changes because there are guys that they're chomping at the bit to get in this team. So you can actually kind of, counterbalance a flat starting to a second half with good in-game management. You say, okay, you're not doing what we said at half time. Do you reckon you can do it? Go and try. That's what I want to see.
Okay. We are currently at 30 likes, which means about 43 of you have not yet decided if you like this content. If you do like the content and you want a 10-minute halftime show, hit the like button. It costs you nothing to hit the like button, but it does let us know that you want to see our 3 beautiful, picturesque faces.
Imagine seeing this face and beard for another 10 minutes in your life. I mean, Danny has to because she's married to me, but it's too complicated to get rid of me. But come on. 40 more likes. You probably see the likes disappear now, but yeah.
Well, we only need 20 more likes, for the actual halftime show. 50 was the target. So 43 of you, if half of you decide just to slip your button and accidentally hit the like button, then, that would be great. We've got Lee Bayliss. Cook got it right in those games away at Pompey and Wickham. Confident we can win today, but it won't be easy. Chris Boyd, it's 7th versus 9th. Expect an Oxford-type game where they cancel each other out, hoping Bond has packed his scoring boots and we inevitably concede with back to win. Do you think we'll get the same game today then, Ben? Or do you think actually Sunderland are under pressure to play and perform? So it might be a bit where they come on the front foot.
If we get that first goal, that crowd is going to go like the Roman Colosseum, baying for Christian blood. They're going to turn. We just have to get that first goal because I don't think that crowd is going to rally around their team to get them to the win because they're all going to be thinking, get the manager out. And he is under pressure. If he loses today, he's gone tomorrow morning. There's no question about it. But we do have a habit of breaking bad form for other teams. We're known for it. It's like, if you can't score goals, play Ipswich. If you're conceding 4 goals a game, play Ipswich and have don't concede any. I'm just hoping that doesn't happen to that Sunderland, but I am feeling really, really confident. Get that first goal, that crowd will turn.
Yes, I completely agree with that. Leighton Durrant, they can only understand half of Two-Tone Cook's halftime talk.
Two-Tone, I like that. Two-Tone Cook, yeah, I like that.
Two-Tone Cook, yeah, that's got legs. That on merchandise.
It's probably because they're confused. They listen to 2 managers at the same time. It's like, what one of Paul's personalities do we listen to right now? Maybe they've got competing voices in their heads.
Mike the Fisherman, Cook needs to show fans like me his ability to coach a team with good in-game. Hang on, run that back. Have I read what I think I've read? Cook needs to show fans like me. Sorry, I thought you wrote, Mike. Cook needs to show people like me. And you're talking about yourself. It has the ability to coach a team with good in-game management. Then maybe fans like me can give him some real quality credit. Thank you very much, Leighton. Finishing with Nick, in-game management. Could it be that Cook hasn't been in the position of having such a quantity of? That's very true. Very true. I don't think he's ever had the abundance of options.
Say that quick 5 times. Quantity of quality. Quantity.
I couldn't. I had to tally it off towards the end as it was.
Half-time show, 50 likes. Lovely job. Thank you, Ipswich Jules, for having a look at that.
We'll be back at half-time for 10 minutes where we discuss.
No cigarette break for me.
Topics. We'll give you 30 seconds, Ben, don't worry. Lee Anderson, we planned the counter, so I expect Sunderland to have the majority of the ball early on. We just need to keep them out. Right, we have come to bold predictions. What do we think the bold prediction today is going to be? Get your prediction in the chat. You won't win anything if you're correct, except a virtual pat on the back from myself. And of course, the Saturday night knowing that you were correct, which we all want anyway. Ben, bold prediction, please.
Yeah, 5-1.
Fucking hell.
We score a goal, they turn, we've got them. Now, we're always going to concede a goal. It's more of a question of when. I'm going 5-1. I'm probably going to be a joker full time. You can all laugh at me, but we get a goal. That place is going to be like a powder keg, and we exploit that and we do what we do. So 5-1.
The very definition of bold. I like that. 5-1 says the Milktray Man. Kurt, are you going to finish that up with a 1-1?
Yeah. I'm gonna. I'm along the line. I'm along the same lines. I think we'll concede within the first 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that will give us the kick up the arse that we need. And I think I'm going to actually go 4-1. I'm going to go 4-1. I think we'll concede in the first 10 minutes due to some just poor defending because we are Ipswich Town. We just have it in our locker. I don't think that will ever leave under any.
It's going to be there. You know it is. Yeah. But we've accepted that. We accept these things that we can't change.
So, I'm going for 4-1. Us conceding first.
Okay. Ipswich Jules 1-1. Lee Anderson at 1-1. Rob Smith, who's fairly accurate on the prediction league, so this could be coming true. 3-1 says Rob Smith. 2-1 says Colin. 2-1 says Rax Max. Nice to meet you last week, by the way, Rax. 4-1 says Ashley Bell. 4-1 says Leighton Durrant. 2-1 Sunderland says the Fisherman. In a big fucking burst in the balloon. Mike Fisherman. 2-1 Sunderland. I don't think you get. I can't imagine Mike gets invited to many birthday parties. Can you?
I was about to say, I bet you're fun at parties.
with that sort of attitude. Do you know what I mean? Happy birthday. Might be your last one. So fucking hell, Mike. Come on.
Leando, that's a massive statement there. If we win 4 or 5, I'll sit on the sofa. We have to win 4 or 5. We have to.
That is a huge statement.
That's going to get buttock imprints for the first time ever. Can you imagine?
Brian Desmond, McGeady for them and Chaplin for us. Callie says, afternoon all. 3-1 Tam with JD scoring his 50th ITFC game. 3-1 says Brian and Lee. If we win 4 or 5, I will sit on the sofa. Well, kickoff is only 20 minutes away. We will be back at half time. Thanks to you wonderful, wonderful people. But until then, he is Curtis. He is the Milktray Man. And hopefully... we're going to be witnessing a town demolition today because the chat is really gone for it. Those normally worry me, though, just to put a little bit of a disclaimer on. I've been here when we played Northampton, AFC Wimbledon, other clubs. We've all gone, 4-0.
But we've also been here when we played teams like Wickham. So,
yeah, who knows? But when the chat's really confident, we normally fall flat on our face.
Right, everyone, change it round. Swap all your scores around and post quickly.
yeah, it worries me. I get that feeling. But we are back at half time.